Coach.
Morning.
Welcome to game week. Before we start talking about Campbell today, talk to us a little bit about year two for you coming out in front of Williams Stadium, our fan experience. Talk to us a little bit about what that's like and what you're expecting on Saturday from a fan experience.
You know what was awesome? I'm glad you brought that up. So we showed our new players. We got on the video game and actually showed them the entrance on the video game of how awesome it was when you run out. You know, even for coaches, the experience that we get when you get out there, the band's playing, cheerleaders are there. You get the countdown, and you get all the students over there in red, and the place that you know is packed out. It's loud, and then when we get into the Flames quarter, it's a special moment that I know I'm looking forward to. And I had no idea how great it was when I got here, obviously, because you know previously playing up here, we usually won, so I know it was clear. Everybody was cheering us a joke, but it's unbelievable, and I encourage everybody. If you've not got your tickets, whether it's season tickets or you're not got tickets for today or the Saturday, please come out. It's a special place playing at Williams Stadium, and our fans, our students, just the alumni. It's awesome, and I know our players look forward to it. You know, when we go to other places, they realize how special our fans in our stadium is, and so I know our coaches. We still talk about the Flames Court. Gives us a little change. So thank you for asking. And it is pretty cool in the video game too. So, yeah.
Did they have Emily Austin on the sideline as part of the entrance?
You know, I'm not played enough to know that whether or not. So I usually stop at the entrance once we're there and feel good about it. But I'm sure she might be on the team. I don't know if she gave away her rights to do that or not. So.
Coach, do you feel like your team's in a good place coming out of camp right now and going into game week?
I think so. You know, I think anytime you're ready, you're actually into game week. There's an increase of intensity and focus, just because hey, you're a week away from finally playing. You get tired of hitting on each other a little bit. So I'm not telling you we're ready to play today. I think there's some things in all areas that you want to see your team continue to improve. And I think there's a challenge for us is new staff there and a lot of new players. You know, we're still you don't know exactly what they're going to be yet. You know, when you're coming, I think anytime there's a new coach, even though you've been at somewhere else when it's completely different and trying to find out who's on their team in this era, it's hard, to do that. So I think there's still a little unknown for us about exactly what you're going to see a little bit from a coaching standpoint. But I know our teams practiced well, and yesterday was an intense practice, and looking forward to continue to build it until we get to Saturday.
You talk about a lot of unknowns with Campbell, new head coach, also, new quarterback, and a lot of new faces in their running back room. What do you use to try to game plan for them? Is it looking at Cal Poly stuff, looking at some of their stuff last year, or how do you prepare for all the newness they have?
Yeah, I think obviously the head coach came from Houston Christian. Check that out. And then where'd their DC come from? Where'd their OC come from? You look at all those different things and to give you an idea of who they are. But I think also not knowing a lot about their the players, and they brought in a lot of different ones. What do they do well? They might have did something at their previous place because that's what they're good at. You don't know what they're doing well, where they're at currently, what they're capable of. So I do think there's a challenge there. As I said, anytime it's a new year and they brought a staff together and you're trying to figure out, hey, which direction you're going to go. So our coach has done a good job of evaluating all those things and felt like we put a good plan together for that to go play well. Because again, at the end of the day, it's about us. And can we go play our best? Can Liberty play their best? And that's what we're big focused on.
Kicking was a position last week you still were talking about. There was competition. Have you had any clarity on that going into the first week of the season?
I think we're close on that. We told our Coach Krantz and our Coach Llewellyn, our special teams, we're going to hopefully make that decision by tomorrow. I think we know as of right now what we're leaning toward. We want to have a couple more opportunities just to finalize the direction we want to go from there. But it's been a spirited competition, and there's been some good things there. There's been some the last 2-3 days we've had some great consistency is what we're looking for. Again, we're not expecting to make all of them, but just consistency when we go out there. And we believe who wins that job, who wins the job, who we name as the starter, we have confidence they can go out there and do what they need to do.
do you expect it to be just one guy, or do you see it being situationally, maybe on distance or whatever, it be multiple guys?
I think anytime, obviously people's legs are different, right? There might be a more accurate kicker from, let's say 20-something yards in and you feel good about him, but after that, maybe can't kick it as well. So I do think there's opportunities to have a different guy kicking, if there's a distance in there. And so right now, the main focus for us, who do we feel best on giving us, that 30-yard line in, so to speak. And then if we want to kick a deeper one, maybe we have another guy from there. But I'll never say that we wouldn't use that. But the sole focus right now is if we get into that red zone area and all that, then we have to kick who we feel confident we can put it through there the majority of the time.
Coach, we talk a lot about players improving. What have you learned this offseason as a head coach?
Can never be comfortable because something we're always throws you a challenge, right? I think it's the old way. I think is normally you build your program and you guys are there and you teach them and you train them, and that's not the case, And so there's a lot of starting over and just continuing to reemphasize why you do things in your culture and all that. Just making sure that you hammer that consistently because I would have never thought, hey, we're going to have 40-something new guys or 50-something new guys again, but you did. So I think that's what I'm learning through where we're at in our sport is just how important it is to continue to implement what you believe and how to do it, and hopefully get the right guys that want to buy into that.
Go online, we got David Teal, Richmond Times Dispatch, a couple questions. David, go ahead. Unmute yourself and yeah.
Jamey, have you and your staff given much thought to how you would navigate a world with a 105-player roster cap? I believe you're at 118 now.
117. We're at 117. No, not really. I mean, I've talked with our recruiting department about what that would look like. But I think that, that's the number everybody's saying you're going to. Is that scholarships? Is that just your total number? I think there's a lot of still questions to be answered for that, David. And so I've met with them about what that would look like if we went to that, and based off whether that's scholarships or best off if that's just the spot you have, but not into the detail where it's a finalized plan.
The proposal before the judge is that it would be a roster cap and you would be able to fund up to 105 scholarships. Would that be a good thing and something that Liberty would want to fully fund?
I think I would have to see what our university would want to do on those things. I know our university supports us tremendously, and so if they feel like that's the best thing to do, they do it. But also, I think you're in a conference, and you got to see what your conference wants to do. There's a lot of things out there before I think that the judge decides on that. What's the best route for a lot of colleges? I don't know if any college will want to go to 105. Truthfully, maybe they keep the status quo. I think there's a lot of still what ifs on how that shakes down, and so we'll plan accordingly when that happens. Because if it goes into effect, it'll be, I'm assuming, the following August, so you'll have time to adjust and plan that. And so it's an interesting time, and we'll see what happens.
Good time for one more, Coach.
My man was going to ask one over here too, so give me two.
Okay, we'll go two.
Were you asking one?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought somebody cut you off there. That's my fault.
No, that's it.
Oh, was it Ed? Or was you asking one?
Ed wasted
Never mind. Who was it?
your question on me.
What you got, Ed? You got a question?
I guess everybody's out, so I can do one
No,
question.
go ahead.
Woohoo. All right, offensive line. You mentioned wanting to see progress out of them a couple of weeks ago. How much have you seen?
We've gotten better there. I think the challenge with the O-line right now is in the big depth concern. When you lost 3 starters from last year, and it's so hard when you lose starters to successively bring in portal guys that are ready to play, and then and also it's hard to get your young guys fast enough ready, and that's what we've been working through. We're on Austin Anderson, who's out probably the majority of the year, is a guy that we were, redshirted last year. We thought would have an opportunity to really help us from the depth standpoint. He's out for the year for shoulder, or majority of the year for a shoulder issue, and so that depth takes hits, and you don't think it's going to. And when that happens, you got to get guys ready to play. Maybe not quite ready. And so Coach Durkin is fantastic O-line coach, who we believe is the best in the country, and we'll get those guys where they need to be. They've gotten better. I'm always cautious, optimistically how good they're going to be, from that standpoint.
All right, coach, thank you for your